The candidate elected as president of the government, in addition to obtaining the power and responsibility of leading a country, acquires the right to live in a great palace. They do not always accept to change their residence once they have come to power, but the general trend is that the president of each country packs his bags and settles in the presidential house of his country a few days after taking office. The Élysée Palace, in French, Palais de l'Élysée, is the seat of the presidency of the French Republic. The building is located in the 8th arrondissement of Paris, on Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré, and its construction dates back to the 18th century. It was originally the property of Count Louis-Henri de la Tour d'Auvergne, who had it built between 1718 and 1722. On the Count's death in 1753, the Marquise de Pompadour bought the palace to be her Parisian residence, and bequeathed it to Louis XV at his death in 1764. It was later bought in 1773 by the banker Nicolas Beaujon, who gave it to Louis XVI in 1786, reserving the usufruct. The king sold it in 1787 to her cousin Bathilde of Orleans, Duchess of Bourbon, who occupied it except during her arrest between 1793 and 1795, under the French Revolution. The revolutionary government gave the palace various uses until the return of the Duchess in 1797. She rented the ground floor to a merchant named Hoven, who organized parties and dances in the halls and in the garden, but ended up auctioning off the building when he decided to emigrate to Spain. Hoven purchased it but had to sell it in 1805 to pay off his debts. It was bought by Marshal Joachim Murat, who, upon being named King of Naples in 1808, ceded all his properties in France to the Emperor of the French Napoleon Bonaparte. In June 1815 the palace was the scene of Bonaparte's final abdication before being exiled, and with the Bourbon Restoration it became part of the crown's assets in 1816. The Grand Kremlin Palace is the official residence of the President of Russia. It is located in the southeastern part of the Moscow Kremlin, on top of Pinar Hill. The Grand Kremlin Palace in its present form dates from the period of 1838 to 1850. It was erected at the initiative of Nicholas I between 1838 and 1850, on the same site as the former building of the Grand Palace of Prince Ivan III of Moscow, from the 15th century, and the Palace of the Empress Elizabeth I, from the 18th century. The projection and construction were carried out by the group of architects, N.I. Chicago, V.A. Bakarev, F.F. Richter, P.H. Gerasimov, F.G. Solntsev and others under the direction of the famous architect Konstantin Tun. A Korda Presidential Palace is the official workplace of the President of Kazakhstan, located in the country's capital Nur-Sultan. The palace took 3 years to build, and officially opened in 2004. It was built by the Mavitex Group, founded by Begjet Pakali, the third president of Kosovo and the first deputy prime minister of Kosovo. The height of the building, including the spire, is 80 meters. The first floor contains the Great Central Hall, the Press Conference Hall, the Gala Hall and the Winter Garden. The second floor contains offices, while the third floor is used for international events, and contains several rooms: the Marble Room, the Golden Room, the Oval Room, the Eastern Room, built in the form of a yurt, and the Negotiations Room enlarged. The fourth floor contains the Hall of the Cupola, meeting room of the Government of the Republic, and the library. The gold color frequently appears throughout the complex. 21 types of marble were used for the floors.